We start with the operation to salvage the Sewol-ho ferry, which sank off Korea's southwestern coast 3 years ago, killing more than 300 people. While 9 passengers are still missing, we're hearing that the salvage crew may have found the remains of one or more of them. For more, let's connect to our Oh Jung-hee, who's on the line for us. Jung-hee, what's the latest?
Devin, Korea's Oceans and Fisheries Ministry announced roughly an hour ago that the remains of one or more missing Sewol-ho passengers were found this morning at about 11:25 a.m. The salvage crew discovered 6 bone fragments of between 4 and 18 centimeters on the deck of the semi-submersible ship that'll carry the ferry to its next destination. A small number of items, including shoes, were also found. The ministry believes the items emerged from the bow of the ferry when the seawater was being drained. The Coast Guard, Health Ministry, and the National Forensic Service, or the NFS, will work together to identify the remains, and 6 NFS officials are already on their way to Pyeongmokhang Harbor near the site of the salvage operation. It is still unclear whether the remains belong to one person or a few. Officials expect the identity of the missing passenger or passengers will be confirmed in 2 to 3 weeks after a DNA test.
Okay, so people who will be looking forward to those results will be the families of the missing passengers who've been waiting for so long to find out what happened to their loved ones. Have there been any reactions from them?
The news came much sooner than expected, actually, because the search operation for the missing passengers was expected to take place after the ferry's arrival in Mokpo. As they heard the news, the families asked whether it was true and where the remains were found. They were also shocked to learn that the remains were found outside the net surrounding the ferry that had been wrapped around the vessel to prevent any remains from being washed away. The families are now asking the Oceans Ministry to ensure the remains stay with the ferry until it reaches Mokpo.
So what are some of the things that are left to be done in the salvage operation? There are just 2 days left until the ferry is scheduled to head over to Mokpo.
That's right. Workers have been removing buoyancy tanks used to bring the ferry above the water's surface while fixing the ferry to a semi-submersible. If that's done by tomorrow, then the semi-submersible carrying the Sewol-ho can head for Mokpo on Thursday. But aside from that, there are still challenges ahead because the final sail to Mokpo isn't expected to be easy. The route the Sewol-ho and the semi-submersible will pass through is quite narrow with a fast current. And once the ferry gets to the port, it may be hard to shift the ferry to the dock due to the gap created by the high and low tides. Also, the authorities and the victims' families haven't yet agreed how the ferry should be placed on the dock. The ferry is currently sitting on its left side, and the authorities are considering cutting it into pieces. But the families say doing that will make it difficult to identify the exact cause of the sinking. Back to you, Devin.